Welcome back out to Denmark Drone Park. We have a developer HP out here with us, hooked up with a thermal camera. We have it configured to show the video side by side, have QGroundControl up and running here already on the MK32 controller. Definitely just did not step in an anthill. And we're gonna get this developer HP powered on. We may have to do another compass calibration, but we'll see. I'm not going to do a compass calibration unless it really looks like it's required after a first flight. I just picked up the developer HP to initialize it since it's not the most flat and even ground we're on. And there's not too much clearance between the bottom of the camera and the ground below. They're not all the props are perfectly straightened out, but certainly enough for a takeoff. And I don't know how well you're going to be able to see that with the sunlight, but we will be recording. Again, we have the normal video feed on the left side, thermal video feed on the right side. As you'll be able to tell, the thermal video feed is actually a little bit more zoomed in, so it's not exactly a 50-50 split or a symmetrical mirror image split. But let's go ahead and wait for this connection to finish establishing. We're just waiting for that green bar across the top to go all the way across. Yep. I don't know, maybe that camera might be able to see it, but filming in direct sunlight, who would have thought? Not a great idea. I don't know, maybe that will help a little bit. And we're not getting a full connection. I'm going to put it into loiter flight mode. Going into the vehicle setup menu, and so where I had previously mentioned in our last video where we were getting a full connection, where I didn't think we would, now we're back to not getting a full connection established, so we don't get all the menu options like we should. Before we do take off, I'm just gonna double check that the antenna did not get disconnected from the radio inside developer HP, because I did notice that had happened previously. And we were out in Alabama yesterday doing a demo, had the top cover pulled up, so it could have gotten disconnected then, and we were just traveling and could have got disconnected in the many hours on the road, but and I just realized the radio that I was just thinking about that got disconnected would really have no effect on that MK32 controller, because that uses a separate radio connection here via these antennas. But nonetheless, we can do a reboot, and I think that's what we'll go ahead and do, and see if we get a full connection established. If not, it's really not required to fly, but it is indicative of a less than ideal radio connection. So I'm going back to the vehicle setup screen, hitting the parameters menu, which is the only other menu that was available underneath the summary screen. Again, now none of that's visible and might be blocking the video feed. All right, we're just gonna wait for this connection to reestablish. Need to see if the gimbal reinitialized properly. I think it should have been fine, because we didn't reboot the gimbal. Yep, I still have control over it. Is the screen any better there? Not in direct sunlight, maybe?
It's not like you could read anything off of it.
Okay.
You can see color.
I can't. I don't see color in people. Or not. QGroundControl is not automatically reconnecting. I'm closing out of QGroundControl, reopening it.
Stabilize flight mode.
Let's see if we get a better connection here. At least if it's going to establish a full connection, should do so quicker. Alright, looks like it's slowing down. Looks like it got stuck there for a little bit, the progress bar. Do 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 do. Oh my gosh, did we get a full connection to establish vehicle setup? Oh my gosh, we have all the menu options as we should. So if you're not getting a full connection establishing, if you're using an MK32 system like we are for this build, then just reboot, close out the QGroundControl app, open it back up, and you should be good to go. All right, I am going to start recording upon takeoff, step away a little bit. I'm going to take off, arming. I want to make sure I didn't step in the anthill. And armed.
EKF3IMU1MAG0 ground mag anomaly, you are realigned.
Not going to take it too high up, just last time we did some extensive testing with a developer HP built out at about 80 feet in altitude. We had it come down due to a bad solder joint. And so in QGroundControl, you can't actually take temperature readings. You actually have to use the SIYI FPV app on this controller. But as you can see, well, again, might not be able to see, at least as I'm holding up the controller. You'll be able to see the video feed side by side though. We'll do another in-office video showcasing the setup and configuration and how you can actually get temperature readouts though. And let's see if I can rotate it, the whole develop air around nice and smoothly. Get a sense of what the video quality is like. I'm going to tilt down the camera a little bit. That is a nice, stable flight. You can see Brian in both thermal imagery and normal imagery. Going to stop recording. Take a photo so you can see what an aerial photo looks like from this camera. I'm going to center Brian up a little bit more. All right, selfie time. Oh, going to rotate so the landing gear is not in the way. We do have retractable landing gear we've equipped Develop Air with. That was not part of this configuration, but it's certainly an option if you want a more unobstructed view. Okay, so it just went into RTL mode automatically. We weren't using a fully charged battery, but we actually still have quite a bit more battery life left. So I'm going to put it back into loiter flight mode, and we're going to keep flying. So if I check the battery level, yeah, we're at 19.4 volts. We could really comfortably go to about 18 volts and even a little bit less using these lithium ion batteries. All right, so I'm going to rotate the camera again back to me. Take a selfie. I don't think the detail of these photos is going to be too great. It's the heat of the moment. All right, I think that's gonna do it for this flight test. We're gonna bring down the developer HP. And like I mentioned, we'll do another video in the office showing the setup and configuration in a little bit more detail. And then I think we'll come back out here and do probably just one more test flight with it and do a mapping mission, or at least show how you could do a mapping mission with this developer HP. Stopped recording, taking one more photo, starting recording again for the landing. Disarmed, stopped recording. That's it for this video. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, leave them in the comments section below. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Peace.